Happy Monday! I'm the Prop Queen, Ariel Epstein. I hope you all had a great 4th of July weekend. I don't know why I was saying Memorial Day. 4th of July weekend, one of my favorite holidays of the year. It's been a long day. I was just on VSiN for an hour for Make It Rain with Adam Shine. And today, on the Prop Queen Pod, we will be joined by the one and only mid-major Matt. He's going to help us with the MLB card today. We'll talk all our favorite Major League Baseball props on the board. We've got some out props, earned run props, strikeout props, of course, some fishy lines. I'm diving deeper into hitter props now that we are in like the dog days of summer. So I've got some hitter props as well that we'll focus on. There are some players that are super hot right now in Major League Baseball, some that are so not. We've got all-star game stuff to get to. Trade in the NBA, someone in the futures market just doesn't make sense to me, so we need to discuss it. Would love to know what the chat knows about this. The reason that we are a gambling show is because the craziest thing to happen in sports today, in sports gambling, was in tennis. For anyone that might be working, just getting off work, you didn't get to see it. The world #1 men's tennis player, Jakob Sinner, was down 2-0. And he ended up getting lucky. And I don't know if that's like the right words to say because I feel terrible for how this ended. I thought I had, let me see. So, Jannik Sinner, thank you, Jessica, by the way, for the VSiN spot. Jannik Sinner was up against Grigor Dimitrov. Dimitrov was an 18-1 underdog to the world #1. Jannik Sinner was -700 to win this in straight sets. I was watching this live line go to +100 on Sinner today after the second set. Sinner took a 1-0 lead in the third set, and then Dimitrov tied it up in the third set, one apiece. Dimitrov ends up having to leave because of an injury. It was a pec injury, grabbed his chest. Pam Maldonado texted me and said, oh my God, is he having a heart attack? So I guess a pec injury is not that bad when you think someone might be having a heart attack on the court. Dimitrov couldn't even lift his arm to shake hands with what's it called? The guy, oh my God, why am I blanking? The judge. He was trying to shake the judge's hand and he couldn't. Yes, it's voided, Sean Michael. It's voided. Any ticket on Dimitrov will get voided because he ends up leaving with an injury. So at least I would assume that most books would be nice enough to void that. And then this guy, this moron, dropped 10.4K on Sinner minus 2,419 money line to win $433. Oh boy, this lucky guy, whoever this guy is that bet this. Because Sean Michael, I mean, listen, every book has their own rules. And I would have to see what each individual book says about the tennis rules. Of course, if a player gets injured at most books in your prop, you have a over and he's injured. Usually that, you just expect that. Sinner bets or wins. And I would have to ask some odds makers. I could ask John Murray from over at the Westgate right now. But most bets aren't voided for injury late in games. Right. But I'm curious if because he was up 2-0 and then went out with injury. It's going to be different at every book. I don't know the tennis rules, and I'm sure every book's going to be different. But I would assume in that situation that, I don't know, I shouldn't assume. That's bad. Every time I assume, I'm probably wrong. So let's not assume. I will ask some odds makers. I should have asked before the show, but I am very curious. And I could ask Pam Maldonado right now. Say, Pam, do you know if any bets on Dimitrov are voided? I'll ask her, see what Pam says. That would be the craziest thing, though, that happened in my day. Wimbledon odds, this was crazy, too, looking at it, because prior to Sinner winning this, they didn't void Rogers. Team sports are a little different, though, Jessica said. In the event of retirement or disqualification at any time after the match has started, all bets on the completed service games and points will stand for moneyline betting purposes regardless. I bet you Fanatics might give you the money back, though. Will be deemed winner across all grades of tennis. Okay, that's FanDuel's rules. DraftKings, I'm curious if Fanatics will pay people out because Fanatics likes to brand themselves. They voided the under. Okay, that makes sense. Voiding any kind of total makes sense. Yeah, it's just crazy to me because if you are up that much on a world number one, not to say obviously the center people got lucky, you deserve to win, but to be that much up on a world number one for Dimitrov and to lose on that just sucks. Yeah, Jessica's going to dig in and see what they say. Voiding this would be like voiding a boxing match in the last round. Fair. I don't know, though. Those are so subjective. Okay, anyway. Carlos Alcaraz at plus 105. And when Sinner was down 2-0, Alcaraz was minus 125. And Djokovic was at plus 320. Sinner was plus 340. Just saying. He isn't winning Wimbledon, so why void? I meant void like if you had a Dimitrov bet that maybe there's some kind of injury fine print at some of these books. I mean, you could be pissed. You could be pissed all you want, but if you have a Dimitrov, I don't mean Sinner being voided. I mean if you have a Dimitrov play. If you've got Dimitrov at 12-1. Jessica said in the event of the next round will be settled as a winner. And in the event of retirement or qualification at any point after the match has started, the player or team rewarded the victory progresses to next round be settled as a winner in the match result money line. Okay, so there you go. Yes, injury, it's a risky take. I get it. Again, my whole point is, I guess for me in my head, the matchup being up 2-0 over the world number one, maybe they'll honor something. I don't know, but it makes sense on the totals. My plus 2.5 sets void. What BS since it technically had cash. See, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. They're in probably maybe not the straight up money line, but any kind of side prop that you could have bet on this, I bet you is getting voided at some books because like this plus 2.5 technically cashed. Anyway, enough of this. I'm just saying. Now, these are your odds, even though Sinner at one point was at, you could have gotten Sinner when he was down 2-0. You could have gotten him at plus 370. Djokovic was actually at plus 320 and Alcaraz was minus 125. Now, this is where we're at for Wimbledon. Alcaraz plays tomorrow. Sinner and Djokovic will play Wednesday in the quarters. And then there's a chance Djokovic and Sinner, if they win on Wednesday, then go and play on Friday. And then the winner of that would play Alcaraz if he wins the semi. Speaking of snubs, you guys know. Oh, wait. Okay, before this, Fanatics. See, Jessica. Dimitrov moneyline bets will either get refunded in cash and Sinner will be settled as a win. If it's part of a parlay, the rest of your bet will stay put. Any bet settled before the injury will stand. Thank you. See? All of you. You guys discredit me. Okay, back to this. Ha ha ha. Juan Soto snubbed All-Star. Gosh, this is crazy. Obviously, he's doing great right now. Since the start of June, Soto's been great for the Mets. I don't blame fans for not voting in Juan Soto. You get off to a slow start. You screw over the teams in Washington, in San Diego, the Yankees. This is what happens, Juan. This is what happens. Only 7 players in Major League Baseball history have recorded at least 20 homers, 70 walks, 15 doubles, and 10 stolen bases prior to the All-Star break. And Juan Soto would be the only one to not make it. Meet the Mets. What's that song? Meet the Mets. How did he screw over the Yankees? He was a free agent. You screw over a fan base. When you disappoint a fan base this often, you end up not getting voted into the All-Star break when you get off to a slow start. It's just what happens. It's doing great now, but too little, too late, Juan. Too little, too late. You know what else? We had this too. I'm just mad at some Mets players today. So this was breaking news today. Byron Buxton is going to join the home run derby. He's from Georgia. He wants to do it in front of his hometown, home crowd. First off, we need someone. We need someone who's performed already in the home run derby who is a slugger. I don't want Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm not talking about him. We've got Cal Raleigh. And we've got James Wood. And then Byron Buxton. We need one great veteran who's participated in the home run derby before who's a slugger. Because right now, this home run derby sucks. Cal Raleigh's never done it before. He's having a great year, but it doesn't always correlate into the home run derby. Byron Buxton, he's having a good year, but 20 homers, very good. 7th most, I think, in the American League, or 5th most. I just am very frustrated with the home run derby this year and would really like to see somebody else. And I am mad at Pete Alonso. I was a Pete Alonso fan. I loved that when Pete Alonso said that he wanted to be the face of the home run derby, that he was sticking to it. Pete Alonso said, I want to be the home run derby champ. I want to be the king. I want everyone to come at me. 2019 he wins. 2022 he wins. And then he has, or 2021. And he hasn't won since. And now he's like, I'm going to take the day off. I know he's in the home run. I mean, I know he's in the All-Star game on Tuesday. And Pete Alonso wants to just take the Monday. And I know I'm one to talk. But, like, you're the one that said that you wanted to be the face of the home run derby. It's not my problem. You're the one that branded it. So go participate, Pete. You wanted to be the face. I'm just mad about it. Very mad about it. As you could tell. I'm literally about the Soto thing. I am just saying this is what happens when you turn your back on too many different teams. People end up turning their back on you. And that's what happened to Juan Soto. And lastly, in today's news, the NBA, we have now had another big trade. And I have some value in the futures market that I would like to share with you guys because I can't believe the numbers. So Norman Powell gets traded to the Miami Heat. The Clippers get power forward John Collins, Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a Clippers second round 2027 pick goes to Utah. I am so excited to watch the Miami Heat, who are 65-1 to win the Eastern Conference. Norman Powell just had his best career season. Shot 42% from 3, averaged 22 points a game. You're going to have Powell next to Tyler Hero, 2 great 3-point shooters. Then you've got Ware another year, Bam another year, Wiggins, a veteran presence, a great head coach in Eric Spoelstra. I love the Heat. 65-1, and you can get them maybe to the Eastern Conference in a very wide open Eastern Conference where we have no idea what the Celtics will look like without Tatum. We don't know what the Pacers look like without Tyrese Halliburton. The Knicks have a new head coach. 65-1 for a proven Miami team that just got better with Norman Powell. I love it. Any thoughts? Anyone else? Who won this trade? The Clippers? The Heat? East is the Magics? I don't know about that. You sure? I'm just saying there's good value there on the Miami Heat at 65-1. I know what the Clippers had to do. The Clippers had to get rid of Powell because he was in his last year. They weren't going to sign him to an extension. They had to free up the money because Kawhi and James Harden are going to be gone in 2020. Well, they're free agents in 2027. Listen, I'm looking at value. And the Pistons do have value at 17-1. But all you people keep talking about is the Pistons in this chat. And look at what happened with the Royals when everyone talked about the Royals and the Red Sox. They lost. I don't trust when you all are going off in the chat about the Pistons. I'm starting to not trust them. I'm just saying that the Miami Heat at 65-1, I think, are being undervalued. And maybe they'll get more, but Eric Spoelstra is a huge piece to that for me. I always like the Miami Heat. I always find that they could have value in the futures market. Do they disappoint a lot of the time? Sure. But if the Miami Heat get in the playoffs, you don't want to face them. Every single year, the runner-up goes through the finals the following year. I mean, I guess we'll see. But I like the move for Miami getting Powell. As for the Clippers, they've been wanting a power forward in John Collins. He's the exact build that the Clippers look for. The Clippers have had Kawhi essentially playing that power forward position where he really is a small forward. So this is really good for John Collins going over to the Clippers. My problem with the Clippers, who are 18-1 to win the West, they always on paper look great. And they always find a way to disappoint you. They need another shooter. Especially if you're worried about potentially Kawhi injuries, which happens almost every year. I do like it for the Clippers, but yeah, not offensively, but he's at least he takes Kawhi out of a power forward position. The NBA futures market, very interesting. Yeah, Utah's tanking already. Absolutely. Okay, I don't know where mid-major Matt is. He told me he's coming on around 5:15, which he's running a little late. So we could talk about some... I guess I could mention some K props right now, and then we'll see what Matt thinks about my strikeout props. Strikeout props today. I'll be honest, wasn't in love with these. But some of them stood out from a certain perspective. Okay, so Sean Burke under 3.5 Ks. I like the value at plus 120. You guys know, all we do is fade the Toronto Blue Jays. And I don't mean the Blue Jays, I mean pitchers when they face the Blue Jays. 36 unders and 28 overs for righties facing Toronto, averaging 4.1 Ks per start, which is very low. 6 of the last 10 righties to face the White Sox have had 3 strikeouts or less. That's a lot of people to go under 3 strikeouts. So Burke, I would lean to the under as a value play. Zach Gallen under 4.5 Ks. He's on the road, also a plus money play. In 2 starts prior to his last outing against San Diego, Gallen had just 3 strikeouts in both the games against San Diego. Gallen had 6 strikeouts in his last start against the Padres. So don't you think it's a little fishy that Gallen's prop is down to 4.5? The Padres do have one of the lower K rates in the league, averaging just over 4 strikeouts a game against righty starters. It's just a very fishy number at 4.5 for someone that just had 6. And Gallen typically doesn't strike out many of these Padres batters. So, talking MLB props, and now tune in. I just wanted to get a tweet out. Had to get a tweet out. Oh, mid-major Matt's here. Perfect. Just in time. We'll get to the other 2. I'll go through this card. We've got to talk with mid-major Matt because he hasn't been on the show in a while. He's got some best bets to talk about in Major League Baseball. Let's bring him on, my good friend, mid-major Matt. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, especially after a nice weekend where our alma mater took a 5-star recruit from Michigan. It was a beautiful weekend.
You might be the only Syracuse person that still gets excited about Syracuse.
That's going to change. Our football program is coming. We are coming for everybody.
Oh, come on. Coming where?
Stop being pessimistic. Our head coach is one of the best in the country, and he is a recruiting god.
Okay, where do you put Syracuse football? Like, are you taking an over on their win total? Are you looking at them to make a college football playoff?
They have one of the toughest schedules I think I've ever seen possible. And their road schedule, they may not win a road game this year. So that'll be a little difficult, but it's just, they recruit really well. And our head coach just is a guy that people respect. And so I don't see us going far this year. Our road schedule this year. So the games that we're not playing in the JMA Wireless Dome this year, we're playing Tennessee in Atlanta, which is a tough game. We're playing at Clemson, at SMU, at Georgia Tech, at Miami, and at Notre Dame. all those teams could potentially make the college football playoff. They all won't, but like they're all really good. So like we better go really good at home, which I think we will. But I'm sorry, you have to get more positive about our football program. It's a good football program.
Oy. I know, like Shawn Michaels said, we're talking Syracuse recruiting. Get a hold of the show, Ariel. I've got to pull in the reins. Let's get away from Syracuse football. I know you do talk a lot about college football. You start handicapping it around now. What's your process looking like? And again, for anyone that doesn't know, I know we talk a lot of baseball with Mid-Major Matt since we started this show, but his name's Mid-Major Matt because he focuses on mid-majors, Matt.
Yeah, so I have my Phil Steele magazine in hand, and so that's kind of the missing piece to the rest of my procedure. So I'm kind of going through and I do win totals for every team, or at least my opinion. I don't bet on every single one, but I go through every team, and I do all my numbers first before I look at the market's numbers because I don't want to get influenced. And then in places where mine is drastically different than what the market says, I go over it once again to make sure. And I posted on my Twitter account, I am 24, 14, and 2 the last 4 years in win totals. The 1 year I didn't make a profit there, I hit a 10-1 to win the Sun Belt. So I've made a profit each of the last 4 years on my win totals / conference futures. So it's a process that's worked well for me. And so we're going to keep doing it once again.
How did you get the name Mid-Major Matt? Sean wants to know.
So everybody bets on the games that are on TV, and I occasionally do those as well. But like I pride myself on knowing a lot more about the group of 5 in college football and the mid-majors in college basketball because there's markets to be had there. Like there's money to be made. Like I like betting on FCS football occasionally, and those money moves and line moves are more legit than anywhere else. So I just spend more time on everything else other than the major stuff because there's a lot of other handicappers who can handle that. Just like, you spend a lot more time on the props in the NFL, there's sides and totals and stuff, but somebody else does those a lot more than looking at the props. So it's just kind of finding your markets and finding your niche when it comes to these sports.
Look at this Cuse slander that we're getting from Joe Dollar. Cuse is a mid-major.
I mean, our basketball program's kind of a mid-major lately. They're really bad, but football, no more. Not as long as Fran Brown's there, we're not going to be mid-major anymore.
Let's go to Major League Baseball. I'm over this Syracuse talk. I can't handle it yet. Noah Cameron. We both like him today. I like him in a different way, which I didn't tell you because you're going to be shocked at how I'm betting Noah Cameron today. You're going under 2.5 earned runs, though, and you're willing to lay the juice at -150. Why?
I mean, he's been tremendous this year. The 2 starts he's been bad was against the Dodgers and Yankees at home. Like that's not anything to be ashamed about. And when you look, as I put in my little write-up there, the Pirates aren't the Yankees or the Dodgers. And if you look, 14 of the last 19 left-handed starting pitchers have gone under this number against Pittsburgh. Now, there is a little bit of concern. There is potential for a lot of rain, and this game could start late. And I hate having that happen because you never know if it's the pitchers or the hitters that adjust to a later start. So that's a little bit of an issue here. But look, I think if there's a chance there's a delay in game, maybe he gets taken out after 2 or 3 innings. But I really like what Noah Cameron has done so far this season against everybody other than the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Well, of course, now you scared me about Noah Cameron because I like his over 15.5 outs today, Matt. I think that Noah Cameron can stay in this game against a bad Pittsburgh team, and Cameron's proven to do so in most games that he's played, like 70% of his games he's pitched. He's also gone over 15.5 outs, averaging like 17 outs a game, and the Pirates allow starting pitchers to go about 18 outs.
Yeah, if you look at the last couple of lefties, I mean, Peterson went 4 2/3. Skubal had a weird outing and only went 5 2/3, but then Boyd went 6. Sanchez and Suarez went 7. Framber Valdez went 7. You go back even further, Lodolo went 6. Ranger Suarez again went 7. So, like, good left-handed starting pitchers have been able to find a long time in these games. So, yeah, I like it. I'm surprised. I'm the one who's usually coming up with the outs props of the two of us. I'm glad you are diving into this market.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it because I've had to dive into more of these pitcher prop markets because the strikeout prop market has been pretty sharp lately, Matt. And I've noticed that you've noticed that too because you haven't been betting the strikeout props as much either.
Yeah, I had a couple yesterday, and I had a couple on Friday, but like, yeah, I mean, look, I think the strikeout market is easy in terms of this. It's easy because you have a number in mind, and if that number doesn't come up, then it's an easy pass. So if you think that so and so, like, if you think Noah Cameron's going to have a lot of strikeouts tonight and his number's too low, you're going to take the over. If it's too high, you're either going to take the under or you're just not going to take it at all. So I think the markets have been pretty good. We've kind of seen these odds makers get a whole lot better because of the strikeouts. Maybe they have access to our spreadsheet. Who knows? Maybe somebody has paid for your newsletter and has our spreadsheet.
It's okay. When we have the numbers that both of us look at and say, oh, that one's going to hit, typically it hits in strikeout prop market. So we just have to wait our turn. And sometimes we get thrown a very, my brain's not working today. Sometimes we get thrown an easy lob. I guess that's the way I'll put it. Anyway, let me stop making myself look terrible. Landon Rupp, over 15.5 outs, plus 125. You like this play. Obviously, it's got value. Why is it plus 125?
Well, I mean, he needed a lot of help to get to 5 innings in Philadelphia. I remember that because I had the over on his outs then, and it was 14.5 in Philadelphia when he first saw them. So that's maybe one of the reasons. And look, they've seen, the Phillies lineup has started to hit better. Thank God Chase Burns' outs yesterday was 13.5 and not 14.5 because that hit over. It actually finished at 14.5, so I was glad to get in there early enough. But I like him. If you look at this guy at home, he has gone under this just once. He's a regular 6-inning guy, and that's even against some good opponents at home too. And this is a Giants team that likes to let him go a little bit. In terms of his outs, he had 6 at home against the Red Sox. He had 6 at home against the Braves. He had 6 at home against the Athletics, and he had 6 at home against the Reds. The only bad start he had was April 24th when he went 3 2/3 at home against the Brewers. And I've seen my Phillies enough, and I know that on the road, they're not as good of a lineup. They're just not. And if you look at their road games, 12 of the last 17 right-hand starting pitchers have gone 5 1/3 or innings or more against the Phillies. So I'm taking a shot here. Plus price at plus 125 balances out the minus 150 that we're swallowing on the first bet. So I'm going to take a shot here and hope that my Phillies struggle a little bit early on.
Talking about your Phillies, Christopher Sanchez. Again, I tell people all the time, this is all in the PropQueen.com newsletter. I tell you all to not bet all of these. I just give you all the places that I do find edges in the market. One of the edges that I felt I found was Christopher Sanchez. At plus 105, felt the price was a nice price because he's had at least 6 and 7 of 9 starts this season against high K rate lineups. 3 of the 4 were on the road. And in his last 2 starts against the Giants, dating back to 2022, Sanchez had 6 and 7 strikeouts, and both of them were on the road. The Giants averaged close to 5.5 Ks a game against lefty starters, 12 overs, 9 unders. Thought at plus 105, Sanchez over 5.5 Ks wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm mad at myself. I didn't take Lopez's over 5.5 yesterday. I took his outs over. It didn't hit. That was another, trend that I liked is that lefties stay in a while against the Giants. But he had 7 straight strikeouts last night at one point. Jacob Lopez did. So this was almost the exact same situation as Lopez yesterday because he was 5.5 over at plus 105. He was in a hitter's ballpark too, and he had 7 or 8 to finish. Sanchez, the one thing that's interesting about him is his road is either really good or really bad. Having 4 in Miami is not necessarily great. Having 5 in Tampa Bay, not necessarily great. Tampa Bay strikes out a lot against lefties. 2 in New York wasn't great. 3 in St. Louis. The Cardinals strike out a lot against lefties. So, I get it. And I saw the 12 he had at home against the Giants. But, Sanchez is a guy that, let's say it's the playoffs. I want him starting at home because he's so much better at home than he is on the road. So that was just kind of my worry here was that if we get a bad Christopher Sanchez in this sort of situation, maybe he doesn't get the 5.5. But I could see what you're saying here based off of if the good Sanchez should get 7 or 8 tonight, just the bad Sanchez might get 2 or 3.
You know the show Fade You. Well, I have friends who live in California and like to say, fade you. They love to fade you, Darvish. It is Yu Darvish's first start of the season, Matt. I was actually kind of shocked because usually you love to fade guys who are making their first start of the season, especially against a low K rate team. Arizona has been kind of hit or miss throughout this season. Sometimes they're low K rate, sometimes they're not, which is why they're kind of in the middle at 4.5 Ks a game. However, Yu Darvish, weirdly enough, I was doing my research, Matt, and I saw that in 2 of the last 3 years, Yu Darvish has made his first start of the season against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And in both those starts, Yu Darvish only had 3 strikeouts. He has good numbers the rest of the way against Arizona, but in the first start of his season, Darvish always has 3 strikeouts when facing Arizona.
So here's the weird thing about Darvish is, did he not have any rehab? I'm looking at his game logs on it.
I rely on you for the rehab starts. You're the one that always talks about the rehab starts.
So
I would assume he's only going 60 to 70.
But even then, like he went 4 innings against in El Paso back in May 14th. That's the only thing I see here on his MILB page, which means he may have just been throwing bullpen sessions and things like that. Like, here's the key. Watch and find out because for some reason baseball has these stupid press conferences and managerial meetings beforehand. The manager's going to say how many innings he's going to go tonight. They'll say, 60 to 75 pitches, 45 to 60 pitches. Like, you might have to sit there on your whatever sportsbook account and literally be ready to click over or under based off of what he's saying.
Do you do that?
No, not really. Because if I'm home, I'll do it. I'm not going to sit there and change my schedule for it. But like, I'm just saying, like, if Yu Darvish goes 45 pitches tonight, under 3.5 at plus 130 is a gift, and it will not go off at plus 130. But if he's 65 to 70, like, here's my problem. I mean, I just hit Michael Lorenzen over. Michael Lorenzen just had 7 strikeouts against Arizona last night. Like, the Arizona is not in a good spot when it comes to contact. Look at all the recent pitchers that they faced and how bad they have been. Cal Quantrill had 5 strikeouts. Sean Burke had 7 strikeouts. Senzatella in Colorado had 5 strikeouts. So, like, I don't trust this Arizona team at all right now when it comes to making contact. So I could see why the juice is heavy towards the over, because Arizona right now is just not reliable.
That's fair, and that was my concern. However, Yu Darvish it was a weird trend when you look at the first 2 starts of his season and he had 3 strikeouts. On the other side of that game, Zach Gallen, I found it to be fishy to begin with that Zach Gallen had 6 punch outs against the Padres his first time around. Now we're down to 4.5. Gallen has not done great this season on the road. He hasn't done great in his career really on the road. Thoughts against the Padres for Zach Gallen on the road?
My problem with the Padres is, I would like the under more if Martin Maldonado was not in. Martin Maldonado has been a guy that I swear every time I take an under, he strikes out every at bat. And in theory, because Gallen goes deeper in games, if he goes 6 innings, there's a chance Maldonado hits 2 or 3 times. And if he strikes out 2 or 3 times, then you're halfway there almost. And now you're asking a bunch of guys who should do well in terms of contact to continue to do well. And this also takes into account umpire error. If there's a strikeout that shouldn't be. It's an interesting thing for the Padres when they have these really low numbers. I need to make sure Maldonado's either not in the lineup, or if we can minimize how many times he faces a hitter or a pitcher, because he's just so bad when it comes to contact. I'm looking to see, he struck out in his only at bat in that game against Arizona. Like, he is not going to help you at all.
Anything else, mid-major Matt, that you want to get to for today before I let you go?
I mean, it's interesting seeing the Keter Montero. This is why I love DraftKings.
The chat's talking all about that game right now.
This is why I love DraftKings, is because DraftKings is the only site that puts up the openers. Keter Montero has started to strike out some people a little bit more, but he's also hasn't pitched since the 19th. Now, the Rays have been one of our favorite teams to go take their under, because the Rays have been very good contact-wise, but they have started to show some cracks. If you look at their recent things, they have gone over a whole lot more lately than they've gone under. You look at Dean Kremer had 6, Michael Wacha had 9, Mitch Spence had 5, Paddock had 5. So like, I don't necessarily trust this Rays team, but how deep is Montero going to go as the opener of sorts? He's gone 5 his last 2 outings, but like, I just feel like that's a really interesting number, 3.5 heavily juiced to the under here. The other thing that's interesting, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, is Richard Fitz, the guy pitching for Boston, is not very good, but he is facing the Rockies. And so everything comes into play here. Like Fitz's outs over was 14.5. It's now 15.5. His earned runs allowed is 2.5. So like, is he really that bad that he's going to give up 3 runs to the Rockies at home tonight? Like, I get he's not a good pitcher, but this is still the Rockies lineup here.
Yeah, it's his 12th MLB start. He hasn't even gotten a win yet. He has a decent ERA at a 3.33. But since returning from his right pec strain, he's allowed 3 runs in 7 innings across 2 starts. When I was looking at the strikeout prop for him, because it was 4.5, I saw 3.5 last night with heavy juice to the over, and it went to 4.5. Yet against the Angels, he went over it once. He had 0 strikeouts, obviously, in just 1 inning, but then 6 strikeouts in 4, but then 1 strikeout in 3 innings against the Reds. It's a matter of how long the Red Sox really keep him in. I saw a little bit of a move against Boston today and then some buyback on the Rockies, go figure. But I just don't trust this Fitz guy. I know it's the Rockies. I know they strike out a ton. You know me, Matt. When there's not a good sample size, I can't do it.
Well, Fitz, the last start was rain delay. He got rained out. So therefore he went the 3 innings, and who knows what he would have done. He was only at 38 pitches. So he could have gone the 5 or 6 that you would have needed in that game against the Reds. So that one you kind of throw out. It is interesting. The second time he sees the Angels, he pitches better. Not that he hasn't, nobody in the Rockies has seen him before, but like, I just thought it was interesting because usually, what the numbers we get for Colorado games, it's 1.5 runs, earned runs allowed. It's, higher strikeout numbers, and we're not getting any of that stuff here for this game.
Wait, you want to hear a funny story that MLB sent out today? So MLB Network research team sent out that Fitz, he had 5 pitches at or above 98 miles an hour on Tuesday, the fastest of his career, topping out at 98.9. He hopes to reach 100 miles an hour on a pitch at some point because his motivation, the Red Sox director of pitching, Justin Willard, gives out T-shirts that read, quote, "I throw fuego" to pitchers that reach 100 miles an hour.
Okay. I throw fuego. I like that.
I think that's great. The chat's asking if you think the Jays are going to win the American League.
So,
or maybe even the division.
Oh, well, we should ask you that one. If your Yankees are going to show up or the rest of the season. I mean, I'm rooting for the mid-major team, the Rays, because they're the perfect mid-major team in Major League Baseball.
I love the Rays.
I mean, the Rays are fun to watch, and they spend like $6 on their payroll. I'm worried about the Jays pitching. Like you know me, I'm not a Berrios guy. You're not a Berrios person either, I don't think.
Not on the road.
Bassett's 36, Gossman's 34, Max Scherzer's 150. I mean, he's 40, but like, can these guys hold up? Can you continue to get good pitching from Eric Lauer at 30? Like, I feel like the Yankees will make a trade. I feel like, the Rays always make those sneaky trades that will help their team. Like, everybody goes for these headliners, and then the Rays make this trade, and you're like, that's going to help Tampa Bay. So I almost feel like if you're looking for the value play in the American League, I almost feel like it's the Rays more than the Blue Jays, because I trust their general manager.
The Blue Jays always let you down. Every year, the Blue Jays let you down.
I think I think probably the Astros are going to win the American League, but I think if you're looking for the value play, I think the Rays are
the perfect year for the Astros to win the American League. Like, no one's talking about them.
Well, because they haven't banged any trash cans lately.
Funny. I don't believe in the Jays. I don't. I want to. I actually don't. The Yankees aren't winning the World Series, and they're not going back. That's the bottom line. I'm looking for someone else who can. And the only team I trust in the American League to do it is the Houston Astros. There is not one other team in the American League that I trust to go out there and win it all. The Yankees are at plus 100 right now to win the division, which is a joke. Like, the Yankees should be so pissed at themselves. Like, you were a heavy like, you were minus 150 weeks ago. Stupid.
Here's my thing about the Astros, though, that's scary. You're relying on Ryan Gusto, Colton Gordon, and Brandon Walter to make starts in October and September. Like, are we looking at innings limits for these guys? I mean, they're all very young.
Will get somebody.
I mean, it's possible, but like, you know, you got Ronel Blanco, who I believe is injured or was injured.
He's out.
Yeah, you got Lance McCullers, who doesn't know where the ball's going half the time. Spencer Arrighetti, who, you know, made a couple starts. Maybe he comes back. I don't trust this pitching outside of Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown. And I wonder, you know, is Hunter Brown going to be an innings issue too? You know, his most innings is 170 last year, and he's at 104 this year already. Like, I don't trust this rotation to kind of get there at the end. Like, what are they going to look like? Who's starting game 3 of the Houston Astros
everyone's
series?
always down on the Astros, and they always find a way to do it. And Shawn Michael, if you come at me with this Tigers crap, I was the one person that in the world that said that I was taking the Tigers to win that division. So don't come at me with Tiger slander. You know I backed your Tigers. I said it on the show from day one that I've got the Tigers to win the division while everyone else was on the Royals, and while the sports books still booked the freaking Twins as the favorite for some stupid reason. I had your Tigers at plus 380 to win the division. So you know, Shawn Michael, that I back your Tigers. Don't give me that. But my Tigers this year are my Guardians of last year. A team that's going to make it further than they have, a team that's going to look great, and a team that's probably going to lose at some point in the playoffs. I'm just telling you how it is. That's how I saw the Guardians last year, and that's how I see the Tigers this year. Great team in the regular season, probably going to win the American League, and somehow lose in the divisional round or the ALCS.
Wow. I mean, Tarek Skubal can't start all 5 games. So, like, you know, and Jack Flaherty is very hot and cold.
So with their bullpen.
I mean, Casey Mize, like, I mean, this is the thing that when you place a baseball future now, you kind of have to project what October is going to look like. You know, in terms of the rotation, like the Phillies have a lot of pitching, but like, you know, I'm worried about their lineup. You know, the Mets rotation, I knew that wasn't going to last. You know, they had all those great numbers and then some injuries and stuff. Like, I love
Earl. I love Earl. He's so funny. See, Earl drops the one-liners that make me laugh. We've got a balance here in the chat of people that piss me off, people that I love you anyway because you're always dedicated in the chat, and then the people that make me laugh.
See, but here's the thing. So somebody dropped the Casey Mize. First off, Casey Mize is 9-2. But like, once again,
Sean.
I mean, I'm just saying, once again, Casey Mize's highest innings was 2021. He had 150 innings. Now he's at 85.2. He was injured once already this season, I believe. Like, I just, my team in October has to have veterans leading the way, like guys who have been through the battles and stuff like that. Like, and the Dodgers, it's almost a good thing for the Dodgers that all their veterans are hurt right now because they're going to be fresh in October if they make it, if Snell makes it, if Glasnow is around. Like, you know, it's almost like they're kind of resting these guys and allowing them to be fresher for October. I know their injury risks as it is, but like,
John's on drugs today. He's on something. He's coming at you, Matt. He's coming at you.
Well, I said I was worried about Hunter Brown in terms of his innings. And yeah, Hunter Brown is really, look, I don't like the Astros. I don't like the Tigers either. I want my team to have a solid pitching staff. You know, the Rays, the reason why I kind of like the Rays is because I think they have a bunch of different options. You know, they've got guys that I think can do it. Taj Bradley is all over the place, but like, you know, Ryan Pepio can be an ace. Shane Baz at times can be an ace. And this team knows how to get their guys through in terms of, look what they just did with Drew Rasmussen. Drew Rasmussen went 2 innings out of nowhere. Like, they baby some of these pitchers so they are ready for October. And they actually have the hitting this year to match up with the good pitching. So like, that's why I kind of believe in the Rays.
Major Matt, I gotta let you go. I gotta get through the rest of the MLB card with all my wacky hitter props that we'll talk about. Matt, thank you again as always. Good luck to your bets tonight. We'll speak to you potentially later this week.
Yep, sounds good.
See you, Matt. I had to cut him off because you guys are probably gonna get sick of this futures talk because a lot of you probably won't bet this stuff anyway. So let's get to what we're going to talk about today in Major League Baseball. I've got some fishy lines. Fishy line number 1 of the day, as we mentioned before, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Chicago White Sox. Listen, I don't hate the Jays. I just wish that they would be better because I've bet on them way too many times to win the American. Today, I would not bet them. I don't like Jose Barrios on the road ever. This line is indicating just why. The line moved a lot against the Jays, despite 88% of bets, 89% of money coming in on Toronto. Of course, the public loves Barrios over Sean Burke. Sean Burke's actually pitched pretty well this year, and he's pitched better at home. But the biggest reason why this number is moving against Toronto has nothing to do as much with the pitching as much as the hitting. Toronto has this 7-game win streak where they swept the first time at home a 7-game homestand. Congratulations. However, Toronto has the second best lineup at home this year. Their OPS on the road ranks 26th. That is a huge drop-off for the Jays to go on the road. This is a mix of not trusting Barrios on the road and in his career, he's ass on the road. That's correct. Joe Dollar, I'm sorry. Maybe this year, but definitely not at like each year. So I wouldn't say Chicago full game, but if you want, you could go first 5. This isn't my favorite one. I actually like this fishy line better. The Rangers at the Angels. Yeah, when I see a line move 20 cents against Jacob deGrom at the rate he's pitching, my sirens go off. When you've got majority of action coming in on a hot deGrom, who has been hot this year, you got to look at why. Kikuchi's also been great. He's having the best season of his career. He's on pace for a 2.81 ERA. Right now, he's got a flat 2 in his last 9 starts, which is 7th best in the majors. The Rangers actually have the second worst OPS against lefties this year. And Kikuchi's a lefty. Even though the Angels got swept by the Jays, they lost all 3 games by just 1 run, and 2 of those were walk-offs. The Angels have lost 5 of their last 6 one-run games. Like, at some point, this thing's got to turn. The Rangers outscored the Angels 12-4 in their sweep in Texas in April, but Texas drops from top 10, top 15 to bottom 10 in OPS on the road. I don't trust the Angels bullpen, though, so I would go Angels first 5. I like Angels first 5 with Kikuchi on the mound, a struggling Texas team on the road. So those are the 2 fishy lines of the day. Hitter prop edges that you could take a look at today. I'm diving into these. Some hitter props that stood out to me. So first, we could take a look at Cam Smith for Houston over his hits, runs, and RBI. He's averaging 2.1 hits, runs, and RBI at home this season, going over in 3 of his last 5. He hits better at home with a 301 batting average. Smith's gone 1 for 3 with a double against Tanner Bybee, who's on the mound tonight for the Guardians. The Guardians also lost in extras yesterday. So they used their best bullpen arms. There's a very good chance that the Guards have to throw Matt Festa or Paul Sewald tonight, who both own ERAs above a 5. Cam Smith over his hits, runs, and RBI. Then in D-backs and Padres, Josh Naylor over his hits, runs, and RBI. Naylor's done great against the Padres. He's gone over this in all 3 games. This year, he's averaging 2.3 hits, runs, and RBI. On the road, Naylor's gone over 1.5 in 7 of his last 10. He's hitting .321 against righties, and Yu Darvish is a righty. Josh Naylor over his hits, runs, and RBI are 2 plays that I would take a look at. Okay, I'll look at the chat now. I haven't looked at you guys. Dodgers still in first with starting pitchers on the IL. Dodgers will be fine. I'm shocked Ariel isn't ranting about the Yankees. Why would I rant about them? They suck. Dodgers are like the Warriors if they had Durant on their team. Yankees are terrible, and they need help in every department. There's no hope. Corbin Carroll versus Yu Darvish. 538, 2 homers, and 14 at-bats. The trade the Yankees want to make is ridiculous. Suarez, dude, strikes out half the time he bats under 200. Yankees need a starting pitcher, guys. That's the bottom line. They need a starting pitcher. I can't trust Max Fried and Carlos Rodon all season. Then you've lost Clark Schmidt now to Tommy John surgery. You lost Garrett Cole to Tommy John. Luis Heel looks like he's making progress. Should be back after the All-Star break. Will Warren, Ryan Yarbrough, they need someone else. The Yankees need a pitcher. I would say if you do believe that the Yankees go out and get somebody else, you could take the Yankees at plus 100. However, I don't trust the Yankees to go out and get someone else that I deem worthy. We'll see. We'll see. Yankees are not hot, but these batters are. Yandy Diaz batting .406 with 18 ribbies in his last 25 games. Chandler Simpson batting .400 with 5 stolen bases and 6 runs scored in his okay, that's supposed to say 11-game hit streak. Silly me. Or 10-game hit streak. Let me see now. Oh, I hate typos. I'm so silly. Chandler Simpson. Let me just double check this stat. Chandler Simpson, 10-game hit streak for Chandler Simpson. Sorry, I have to go fix that now. Great. Back to so many tabs open. Trevor Story. Believe it or not, Trevor Story is facing the Colorado Rockies, his former team, for the first time. He's been injured every other time that the Red Sox have faced the Rockies. Story's on fire right now. He's hitting .469 with 3 homers, 4 doubles, 12 ribbies, and an 8-game hit streak. He's Boston's active leader with 53 ribbies. Devers is leading the way there, but talking active. Over the last month, Story's hitting .340 with 7 homers, 7 doubles, 27 ribbies in 26 games. Rafaela homered in each of his last 2. His extra base hit streak is on 4 games. His last 35 games, Rafaela is hitting .320 with 9 homers, 12 doubles, and 625 slugging. So it's very good. 12 doubles. That sounds like a lot. Did I get that right? I was rushing to get all this stuff done. Yeah, 12 doubles. That's crazy. 12 doubles. Wow, I wasn't even thinking about it when I was writing it. Mickey Moniak, since June 6th, hitting .371 with 8 homers, 5 doubles, 2 triples, and a great OPS in 20 games. 12 of his 13 homers came against right-handers. It's a righty on the mound in Boston. Otto Lopez hitting .322 with 3 homers, 19 ribbies in his last 15. Addison Barger hitting .333 with 3 homers and 10 ribbies in Toronto's win streak. Mike Tauchman is hot, hitting .821 with OPS 821, .372 batting average over his last 11. Jackson Chourio hitting .471 with 4 extra base hits in his last 4 games. Sal Frelick hitting .323, 10 runs and 10 ribbies scored in his last 15. Jose Altuve on fire in his last 5, 10 of 20 with 10 ribbies. He's hit 3 home runs this weekend too. Joe Adell hitting .338, 6 homers, 18 ribbies, and 17-game on-base streak. Manny Machado, he's slumping a little, but he's 2 hits away from 2,000, so keep that in mind. Willy Adames hitting .423 with 2 homers, 9 ribbies in his 7-game hit streak. Kyle Schwarber, also not participating in the home run derby, hitting .304 with 5 homers, 10 ribbies, 12 runs scored in his last 16. Who's not hot is 2 stars. Bobby Witt Jr., hitting .167 with 7 ribbies in his last 20 home games. Shohei Ohtani, 3 for 30 in his last 8 games with 1 extra base hit. Some good matchups to know about, and there you go, Shawn Michael. You got to be a little patient sometimes. Corbin Carroll, 538 with double, 2 homers against Darvish. Mark Canha, 318, 3 doubles, 2 homers against Andrew Heaney. James McCann hitting .400 with a double and 2 home runs against Darvish. Ketel Marte, also good numbers against Darvish with a double, a triple, and 2 homers. Jake Cronenworth has been doing well. I think he had a walk-off this weekend too, hitting .308 with 3 doubles and a home run against Zach Gallen. Bad matchup. Salvi's 1 for 10 with 3 Ks against Andrew Heaney. Will Smith, all-star, hitting .143 with a homer and a K against Freddie Peralta. Eugenio Suarez hitting .235 with a double and a homer. 15 strikeouts against Yu Darvish. I think I read somewhere that his 15 strikeouts against you. Let me double check this. There was a crazy stat that, let's see. Okay. Suarez's 15 strikeouts off Darvish are tied with Paul Goldschmidt for the most by any hitter. Suarez is 8 for 34 with a home run off him. Yeah. So tied for Paul Goldschmidt for the most by any hitter. 15 Ks against Yu Darvish. That's pretty crazy. Perdomo hasn't gotten a hit with 7 strikeouts against Darvish. Higashioka, 125 with a double, 6 Ks against Kikuchi. Corey Seager, 231 with 3 Ks against Kikuchi. And Manny Machado hitting .240 with 2 doubles, a homer, and 5 Ks against Zach Gallen. What else are you guys saying in the chat? How about a Taco Bell review this week? It's time. Oh, goodness. Carol and Marte, the little Wilson and Ronald. Salvi sucks this year. Taco Bell, though, at least Raising Cane's. No. And hot take, I don't like Bojangles fries. I don't like the peppery, like, Cajun seasoning. I was just talking to my mom about this. I don't like fast food anyway. Chat wants Taco Bell. What do I try from Taco Bell? I don't want to die. I feel like I'll die if I eat Taco Bell. Will Smith won't be slapping one out tonight. Ha 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 ha. Fishing lines. I don't have propaganda, do I? Oh, wait. Okay, time out. I do have some propaganda. Let me get you guys propaganda real quick. I just remembered that they sent it to me. Let me add it in. Desktop. Oh no, I'm out of space. 1 second. This is my biggest problem with StreamYard. I'm out of space, so I have to delete. Let's get to propaganda. These are your most bet on props according to BetMGM today. Christopher Sanchez, under 5.5 pitcher hits allowed. Very juiced there. Mickey Moniak over on his home runs, which we read about before, that Mickey Moniak is on fire right now. Since June 6th, hitting 371 with 8 homers, 5 doubles, 2 triples in 20 games. And 12 of his 13 home runs came off of a right-handed pitcher who he faces tonight. Yusei Kikuchi, under 2.5 pitcher earned runs. I like that as well. -120. Roman Anthony over a home run, and Sanchez over 5.5 Ks. So we probably now can't bet Sanchez over 5.5 Ks because the public is on it. The only one I don't mind is Kikuchi under 2.5 earned runs, but yikes. Yeah, no, Taco Bell's not bad. Doritos taco. Bojangles for breakfast, Bowberry. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm over it. I can't. I don't do fast food, guys. I don't. Fast food's not my thing. The only fast food I've ever done really is like a sandwich. I only will do like a Jimmy John's, Subway. I don't do Taco Bell. I don't do Mickey D's except their fries and their soda. They've got good McFlurries too. Wendy's, I'll get a Frosty. I think Wendy's is horrible. I don't even know how that place still exists. Burger King too. There's nothing about, at least chicken nugget at Chick-fil-A, I understand. Chicken nugget even at McDonald's I get. I don't understand Burger King and Wendy's. Overrated. Royal Locks. Royal Locks of the day. Oh, I messed up again. They're not in here. I have to delete more things. Royal Locks of the day. Where are they? Okay. Royal Locks. Going with Noah Cameron over 15.5 outs. Hopefully I don't have to worry about any kind of weather situation, as mid-major Matt alluded to. However, Cameron, he's averaging just under 17 outs per start, going over 15.5 outs in 70% of games this season. His 2.56 ERA since his MLB debut on April 30th ranks 9th in the American League, and the Pirates just lost in 3 straight shutouts against Seattle this weekend. So they're not scoring. Cameron to stay in the game. Starters are averaging 18 outs per game against the Pirates. Noah Cameron over 15.5 outs. I also like the Angels' first 5 money line. Kikuchi's having one of the best seasons of his career. He's on pace for a career best 2.81 ERA. His flat 2 ERA in his last 9 starts is 7th best in the majors. The Rangers own the 2nd worst OPS against lefties. LA just got swept by the Jays, losing all 3 by just 1 run. So these games were close. Something's got to give at some point with the turnaround. And the Rangers, even though they outscored the Angels 12-4 in Texas in April, the Rangers dropped to bottom 10 in OPS on the road. Angels first 5 for me. Those are my 2 Royal Locks of the day. Let's cash. Tyler Glass now is back. We'll start Wednesday. Love to hear that. I'm really happy for the Dodgers. Nothing wrong with not liking fast food. Thank you, Joe Quills over on Twitch. I appreciate you. Probably why I'm in good shape. I'm not in great shape anymore. Marley, I thought when you get a dog that you are supposed to walk a lot with the dog and lose weight. Marley doesn't like to walk far because she's just a 5-month-old puppy. So I don't get to walk as much. And then I feel bad creating her to go to the gym. So I just sit on the couch like a fat slob. So maybe I should start eating fast food and start looking like Chuck. Remember with in the last scene in Dodgeball when Ben Stiller is like effing Chuck Norris. It's what I feel like I'm going to look like soon if I don't get to the gym soon. Marley doesn't like water or walking. Interesting dog. She's starting to like water now. Starting to. She likes to go to the park and play. That's the problem. Like any kind of baby, babies get sidetracked. They just want to play. They don't really want to like do their thing, you know? So that's like Marley. McDonald's best coffee. I threw mine out, honestly. But don't listen to me. I'm picky. I'm picky as hell. Glass now back for sure. I'm very excited about Glass now. Take her to get a pup cup every day. Yeah. I can't do it every day. She'll get there. She's only 5 months old. We'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining in. As always, the PropQueen.com newsletter is now out. It is 6:02 p.m. It goes out every day for that. If you missed any stats and trends that you want to see, you can subscribe to the PropQueen.com newsletter, or you can go to the YouTube page. Subscribe to Prop Queen Sports on YouTube, please. Like all the stuff to make the YouTube page look good. Good luck to your bets. I will see you all tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time.